So clearly the fate of the economy is tied to this virus. When do you think this current Delta wave will peak?
You know, it's very difficult to predict. We've seen in the UK that after several weeks of a high acceleration, it's turned around. There's a lot we can do about it and to ensure that it not only continues to accelerate, but it really goes down to a very low level. And that's the thing we've been talking about all the time. And that is we have 90 million people in this country who are eligible to be vaccinated who have not yet gotten vaccinated. So we want to vaccinate the unvaccinated to the highest extent that we possibly can, the greatest proportion possible. But also, as we've heard yesterday in the announcement that I was part of yesterday at the White House press conference, is that in order to maintain the durability and the height of the protection among those who've already been vaccinated, we're recommending a booster dose that I believe will go a long way to continuing a high level of protection. So it's within our power to do something about turning that acceleration around. It's just up to us to implement it.
About the boosters, which I know you are recommending, my question is where that ultimately goes. Are we going to need boosters every year indefinitely?
You know, I don't think we can say that. I doubt it very seriously. You know, I believe that the third boost of a two-shot regimen, namely what we're recommending for those who've gotten the mRNA vaccine, we're noticing in clinical studies that the level of antibodies that induces is very, very high. So what we're hoping for is that third shot really gets you up to such a high level that not only is it highly protective, but it's very durable. That's what we're hoping for. We can't guarantee, I doubt seriously, but I don't know for sure, that we're going to be able to say we're going to no longer need boosts every X number of months. I don't think that that's going to be the case. I think this third shot will take us a long way.
Is it possible to get the booster shot too early, Dr. Fauci? I mean, given that there is plenty of supply, should those that are keen just get on with it and go in and get their third shot?
You know, Wilfred, it depends on exactly when you got it. There should obviously be a range. We're trying to do it in an orderly fashion, talking about 8 months, which would start around the third week in September. But in all things like this, it's a range, 6 to 9 months or what have you. The one thing you don't want to do is if you get it too soon. For example, if I got my second shot today, and then I heard on TV or in the news that a booster will be helpful and decide in 2 to 3 weeks I want to go and get the third shot, that would be counterproductive, because one of the reasons that we believe the boost works is that you give the immune response of the second shot enough time to mature and make it ready so that when you give a boost, it really jacks up the response a lot. So you don't want to make it too soon, but there will be a range of when you can get it, even though optimally we'd like it to be 8 months. I believe people are going to be doing it at 6 months or so. Human nature itself is going to tell you that people will be doing that.
The World Health Organization says that protecting the unvaccinated before giving boosters to the vaccinated is critical. And I know we're donating millions of vaccines, and President Biden says we can do both. But if vaccines are still protecting us in this country, isn't it a real ethical question as to whether we should be getting a third shot before billions of people have access to their first?
Well, if you look at what's been done, you can do both. Absolutely. And we feel a very strong responsibility that we are acting on as a nation to get doses to the low and middle income countries. So you have to look at the facts that we feel we can protect maximally people in this country at the same time as we play the major role in protecting people in other countries. Let me give you an example of this. Already, the United States has donated more doses to low and middle income countries than the rest of the world combined. We have a commitment to give 500 million doses between now And as we get into the first half of next year, we've already given over 110, 120 million doses to 80 countries. We have $4 billion worth of resources going into the COVAX program. And in addition, we are now working on greatly expanding the capacity to allow us to donate hundreds and hundreds of millions of doses to the low and middle income countries. So we are doing both. And we're very sensitive to the needs of the developing world who need vaccine doses, but we believe we can do both.